Today we're going to be talking about SG ball trials, fitness drills to burn fat, and whether 15 years of age is too old to make it. I'd question that one.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 63 of Run It Straight. So let's jump straight in with our first question. How can I stand out at SG ball trials? I'm 18 years old, 184.5 centimeters tall, 86 kilos, body fat is 20%. Son, tell me your position.
Position, please.
that's the thing that we really need with that.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
without having the position, that's solid height and weight, but
Yep.
I don't know what position. So, look, 20% body fat at 86 kilo isn't exactly promising.
No, yeah,
Because
definitely.
let's say he's a second rower.
Yeah.
86 kilo, look, it's lightish, but it's heavy enough. 18 years old, so he's a year young.
Yep.
His height's more than good, but at 20%, he's probably a little sludgy.
He'd be 19 for the season next year, so he'd be right age for
Oh,
it.
he is the right
Yep,
age.
he'd be right
Yeah,
age.
look, I'd say your body fat's a little high, but maybe he's a winger.
Yeah. Maybe he's got some speed.
But look,
Yeah.
20% is still too high.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
look, 20%, if you were 20% and you were 93 kilos and you were second rower, I'd be like, you're right in that beautiful zone. I think we're a little bit off there. That being said, the best way to make a rep side is to actually make it before the trial, right? A big chunk of the team is picked from performances right throughout the season. And so if they're going to pick a squad of 35 guys, they've got 15 to 20 names that they already know because they've watched them week in, week out. And they're in the top 3 or 4 performers in their side each and every week. And those ones are getting picked. Then you've got your nepotism picks, which happens, okay? So there's 5, 6 guys who are getting picked because this guy's someone's uncle and this guy is his nephew and blah, 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 blah.
Sponsors always a big one.
Sponsors
Yep.
are a big one. We've seen that over and over again. They don't like to say it. It is what it is.
Yep.
That happens too, okay? So of those spots that are left, what are the selectors actually looking for? We like to break it up into, there's the uncontrollable things, there's the somewhat controllable things, and there's things completely in your control. Now, uncontrollable, which is one of the biggest things that I look for, it sucks, but that's life, right, is height. You can't train it. Taller
Yep.
players tend to get favoured. Just accept that it is what it is and then focus on something else, okay? Don't spend too much time thinking about it because you can't do anything about it. Next, we've got the somewhat controllable, or let's say like trainable qualities. So these are things like size, okay? All things being equal, if 2 kids have got the same intensity, the same skill level, the same attitude, generally the bigger kid's going to get picked.
100%.
That's just the way it is.
100%.
Now, you can get bigger, going to the gym, eating the right food and being consistent with your training, okay? Speed. Now, top end speed is mostly genetic, but everyone can get faster, and you can have players who can get fast enough if they work at it, okay? And we've talked before about speed training. Strength and power, again, like size, built in the gym, and it's built over time. You don't do it 6 weeks out, which is what a lot of people, trials are in 6 weeks, what can I do to get picked? It's what you could do is you could have started 12 months ago, because 6 weeks out, there's not a massive amount you can do. You can get fitter, and that's really about it. Now, the things that are fully trainable, tackle technique, the intensity you bring in tackles, effort on effort plays, ruck control, smart positioning, loud communication, which really stands out on the field. In attack, we're talking about running good lines, good passing game, offloads, quick play the balls, finding your front, those kinds of things, post-contact meters. These are all things that stand out. Mindset-wise, if they see controlled aggression out on the field, you're intimidating, but obviously walking a fine line, staying on the good side of it. If there's like a competitive energy, you're vocal, and you're tough under pressure, those are all things that are going to help. Okay? You want to have a crack at that one?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you just need to be the best player in your position, period. You're not going to be the second best, third best. You need to be the best player to stand out. That's what Joe said, running hard, tackling hard, not missing any tackles, making plays so that they do notice you. Whether that's running a good unders line, making a break, passing it back on the inside, someone scoring off you, whether it's putting a big controlled, technical tackle on that, that kind of has the crowd going,
you need moments.
You need your moments. You need those plays,
And it's one of those things that there's a lot of people, he's a really hard worker, never misses his tackles.
Yep.
That's
fine.
That's fine, that's good, but that's not, unless they have seen you throughout the season and that's what they're picking you for.
Yep.
If you're in a game and you just make all of your tackles and you run all your support plays and you run your decoys, you're not going to get picked.
Yep.
You need to stand out.
Yep.
You need to do something. You need to get a miracle offload away, or you've got some footwork, or you put a big shot on. Like you just said, you need the ooh-ah moments. And then you need to string a few of those together, because there could be a few guys there that are talented, that are doing those things.
Yep.
And you need the length of the field try, or you need this, or you need. And
exactly
even with those
right.
things, we've had boys who've gone to and absolutely killed it at trials, and they still didn't get picked.
Yep.
But if you're not doing those things, if it's just a solid performance, zero chance.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, next question. What are the main fitness drills to use for someone to burn more fat? So there's no drills that burn more fat. There's this myth of like the fat burning zone, because when you work out, but not work out very hard with conditioning, with cardio work, your body will break down body fat for fuel to use. But then if you work out really hard, your body won't use body fat, it'll use stored glycogen because it needs to get the energy quicker. But that doesn't actually really matter, because what does matter is the total calorie deficit over a 24-hour period. So the harder you work, the more calories you burn, the more body fat you'll burn off. So that being said, the best fitness drills are whatever you're actually going to do.
Yep.
The best program in the world's useless if you're not going to do it, right? So if you're never going to go and do Malcolm's, coat hangers, suicides, but you will do a 3K jog, do the 3K jog. Because a lot of when you give people really hard intensity stuff, they just, it was hard and then I stopped. They'll do one and then they won't do it again.
Yep.
Whereas if they can put some headphones in, listen to some music, and they can go for a 3K jog, and they can start to build up some resilience, and it goes from being, a jog to a run to a really hard run. And then they might be capable mentally of tolerating going to the park and doing some Malcolms, some hundreds, some suicides, some broken Broncos, that kind of stuff. That might get them there. So again, best program is the one you're going to do. B, whatever is the lowest risk of injury. I've known players who are super keen, million miles an hour. They want to burn all the fat that they can, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do 1500s. They go to the field, they get into the 500, and then they pull a hammy. Okay, so it's no good if it's going to get you injured. So that needs to play into it as well. And the last thing, C, is to make it game related if you can. If there's a way to make it so that your fitness drills are also helping build your skill set, I would say that that's a massive bonus. Even if, rather than just doing a street run, a road run and going and running 3Ks, if you go down to the park and let's say you're just doing 50 back, tri-line and back, but you carry a football and you're running up with it, you've got a single hand weak carry on one side, then the next lap you're doing it, you've got the ball in the left hand, then you've got a single hand strong carry, then you're moving the ball around, all of those, just something. Or you could be actually running just some 10-metre up and back drills. They're not killing you, but you're getting used to the movement that you're going to be doing in a game, so it is a little bit more game related.
Or even getting down and up like a Malcolm or something like that. Like, you're going to make a tackle, have to get up off the floor. Doing things like that.
All right, you want to...
No, well, you hit the nail on the head. Essentially, at the end of the day, burning body fat comes down to being in a calorie deficit. You can do a marathon that burns 2,000 calories, but guess what? If you're still eating at maintenance or a surplus, you're not going to be losing any body fat. In saying that, though, cardiovascular fitness will improve by doing things like Malcolms and things like that, and your cardio will improve the leaner you get too. It'll become easier, you'll become faster. So there's a lot of things that do come with it. But the fitness drills in and of themselves won't burn the body fat. It comes down to whatever you're putting into your mouth.
Calorie deficit, baby.
Exactly.
Next question. Is under 15s too late to make it far in footy? Yes. You haven't done it by then.
Pull the pin.
Forget
find someone else.
Look,
it's a joke, by the way.
At 15, you're a baby. Look, there's some players that have barely got any hair under their arms at the age of 15. Just take a chill pill and relax. There's a lot of panic, and you see that even in parents. If he hasn't, like we get asked that, if he hasn't made development by 15, should he even bother? Bother with what? Bother with life? Yeah, no, you know what? Just put him down now. Stop feeding him. Go to bed. That's it. Life's over. No, that's one of the most ridiculous things. So yes, you should bother. 15 is not too young for anything. One thing I would say is when you say make it far in footy, Your focus even shouldn't be on making reps. Your focus should be on doing everything that you can do to make yourself as good a rugby league player as you can possibly be. If you want to make a rep side, just focus on getting better, not making the rep side. Making a rep side is a consequence of being a good rugby league player who performs at a high level consistently, not of doing the things to make a rep team. Just be good. Be good. If you're good, then those opportunities will start to come. It's the same way, like when someone ever says to us, "Oh, do you think I need to get a manager?" It's like, look, don't focus on getting a manager. Once you get to the point where you're doing things, managers will start to approach you. True?
100%.
That's what happens. Okay, if you're good enough, they'll come to your games, they'll get your phone number, they'll call your parents, they'll do those things. If the manager's not coming and they're not knocking on the doors, you're probably not ready to go to that next level anyway. So just focus on getting good enough so that the manager comes to you.
100%.
As a 15-year-old, you've got literally 5, 6, 7 years to make something happen. So right now, put together a plan to get yourself over the next 6 and 12 months to get yourself, let's say you're a 6.5 out of 10 footballer, to get yourself to a 7.5 out of 10 footballer. Do that over 12 months. And the next 12 get to an 8.5. Then it might take 12 months to get to a 9. And then to get to a 9.5, that might be a 4-year project for you. That's fine. To get to when you're 18 or 19, it might take that long. If that's how long it takes, that's how long it takes. But you've got to start.
100%. And don't go into the mindset of 15s, haven't made a rep squad, geez, I've got to just fail, right? If you put yourself into that mindset, you will fail. So set the mindset up that 15, you're still a baby, you're still young, you've got plenty of time. People that debut late, Cody Walker was, I think, 25, 26.
Do you like footy?
If
you like footy, then play footy and get better at footy.
Exactly right.
That's it's not just all about quote unquote making it.
Yes.
You've probably been playing it since, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8, something like that. So you enjoy playing and you enjoy being around your mates and you develop a whole bunch of qualities and virtues that are going to be helpful for the rest of your life. So do that. Enjoy playing football for as long as you can.
Because once it's gone, it's gone. It's not coming back.
Nope. Nope. It's gone. And gone is this episode. That's it.
We're done.
We're done.
That's a great segue.
All right. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You like that?
I do like that. Very nice.
If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or go over to Instagram and send me a DM. That is me answering those questions. I go in a lot of in-depth detail in there with you guys, and I'm not charging you anything for it either. But other than that, was there anything else I needed to mention?
That's done.
That was it. We will see you in the next one.